and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my top 10 games of 2024. So dear viewer, if you don't mind, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. So, one thing to say before we get started, dear viewers. This is my personal pick for the top 10 games of 2024. If you don't like this list, well, I don't like the fact that your mother gave birth to you and I have to tolerate that, so you will tolerate this list. Let's try and be nice and civil, shall we? I know some of you find that fucking impossible to do, but never mind. Let's get on with it then, starting off at number 10. Gaudy, Cuddly Carnage. What happens when you take a Tom and Jerry cartoon but make it actually like a horror movie? You get Gaudy, Cuddly Carnage. What at first appears to be a simple platformer hack-and-slash game turns into some kind of cartoon nightmare / wet dream. If the idea of playing as a cat with a robotic sidekick that's quite foul-mouthed, and running around as said cat, hacking and slashing enemies with more gore than you would find in an American high school after prom night, then Gaudy Cuddly Carnage is the very video game for you. Number 9. Shadows of the Damned Hella Remastered. This is the first remaster that you'll find on my top 10 games of the year list, and it might not be the last. Spoilers, it isn't. So this is a remaster of a PlayStation 3 game that was brought to us by Suda51 and that very talented bastard Shinji Mikami. Kind of like Resident Evil 4. But a bit funnier. Was always one of my favorite PlayStation 3 games, and now it's one of my favorite video games of 2024. Number 8. Speaking of remasters, here we have Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. Though I would call this more a remake than a remaster. Or is it more a remaster than a remake? Well, let's not split hairs. This game lets us play as a homicidal cheerleader voiced by the immensely talented Tara Strong, who may or may not appear in some of the other video games on my top 10 of 2024 list. Spoilers, she does, and one of the games is going to piss you off. Ha ha! James Gunn had something to do with this game, so that means that it's very, very, very funny. Remember when James Gunn movies were funny? I miss those days. I used to masturbate into a sock in those days. Ha ha! But we're not here to discuss that. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, absolutely fantastic. Number 7. The Silent Hill 2 Remake. Now, spoilers, I was never a fan of the original Silent Hill 2. It was always a piece of overrated garbage in my mind, so I'm not entirely sure what they did with this remake exactly to convert me, but I think this is an absolutely fabulous Silent Hill game. And it's absolutely better than the original Silent Hill 2. So all of you out there, take your copies of the original Silent Hill 2, flush them down the toilet, and just play this one instead. It's bigger, it's longer, it's more shiny, it's more graphically impressive, it has better voice acting. Yes, it does. Don't you dare fucking argue with me. It absolutely has better voice acting. Silent Hill 2 Remake, absolutely fabulous. Number 6. Speaking of remakes, the Until Dawn remake. Yes, I bet some of you forgot about this particular remake. Well, I didn't. So, there. Until Dawn is one of the best PlayStation 4 exclusives that we had. Now, it is one of the best PlayStation 5 exclusives that we have. It's basically the original game, but like the Silent Hill 2 remake, oh, so much better. Number 5. Sonic X Shadow Generations. How do you take my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog video game ever made and improve it? You stick a new campaign starring Shadow into it, and you plop it very nicely onto my PlayStation 5 and my PlayStation 4. Like the Silent Hill 2 remake and the Until Dawn remake, this is like the original Sonic Generations, but with a much needed shot of adrenaline into its fucking arm. Bigger, better, more impressive, wider girth, nicer bedazzling, much tidier haircut. Sonic X Shadow Generations is now my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game. Number 4. Get ready to suck it, losers. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And no, I'm not joking. Number 4, favorite game of this year, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. What's that? You want to know why? Well, I'll gladly tell you why. It's a video game starring Harley Quinn, fantastic, Deadshot, Killer Shark, Captain Boomerang, Lex Luthor, Amanda Waller, the Joker turned up, Deathstroke turned up, a version of Mr. Freeze turned up, but with a vagina. They face off against evil versions of the Justice League like Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, The Flash, just like that other fantastic video game that was so well received. What was it called again? Oh yes, Injustice. Oh, but yes, that was made by the same guy who made the Mortal Kombat games. That's why you were all so eager to get down and blow his fucking load all over your faces. That's why you decided to trash all over this game, even though this game's story is just as good as Injustice or Injustice 2. This game also, like those games, had evil version of our superhero characters, but I didn't hear anyone bitching and complaining back then. Oh no, this game's gameplay is fun, the story is fun, the jokes are very funny. If you would just let Rocksteady finish the fucking game, you would have seen that all of your superhero characters are going to be brought back to life and turned good once again, but you just couldn't let them finish it. Oh well, that doesn't take away from the fact that this game is my number 4. And you know what that means? It's better than Black Myth Wukong. It's better than Star fucking Field. It's better than the new Indiana Jones game. It's better than fucking Rise of the Ronin. It's better than Baldur's Gate 3. You're right, you just heard me say that. It's better than Astro Bot. It's better than 900 of the other video games I played this year, and if you don't like that, well, tough. That's why this is my list and not yours, motherfucker. Number 3. Grand Blue Fantasy Remake. Now this is a series of video games I don't think gets enough love. The Grand Blue Fantasy games are fantastic beat-em-up games. Wonderful visuals, wonderful storytelling, wonderful voice acting. How could you possibly improve upon that? Well, you turn it into an RPG. Not only an RPG, but an action RPG. Now that is a recipe for success in my book. That takes us rather nicely to number 2. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Yes, it does fucking count, because if I can put the other remasters on this list, then I can put The Last of Us Part 2. How do you improve The Last of Us Part 2, a game I already said in my review was a 10 out of 10 experience? You'll put it on the PlayStation 5, of course. Improved gameplay, improved visuals, improved frame rate, what more could you possibly want? And yes, Joe still dies in this version, which means that I get to watch that scene again, and masturbate into my favourite sock, if I can find the damn thing. And that brings us rather nicely to number 1, my favourite game of 2024. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The second part in what is probably going to be the greatest gaming trilogy ever created. Completely surpassing my expectations. Final Fantasy VII Remake already did a better job of telling a better version of the Final Fantasy VII story, and Rebirth carries on that tradition. We get more Cloud, more Edith, more twists and turns. A fantastic open world to explore. Some nice setups for what's coming in Part 3, and lots of multiversal shenanigans. What more could you possibly want? And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my top 10 games of 2024. Keep your vaginas open, your trousers buckled up, and your eyes open, because my top 10 worst games of 2024 might just be coming your way very soon. What is that favourite sock of mine? No, I had it last night.